What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Big K.R.I.T is someone who was held back by the major label system. From a lack of promo to creating music that felt like he was trying to please Def Jam, K.R.I.T finally left the label in 2016 and quietly began working on his third album. What came of this opportunity was a chance for him to create without having to please anybody. He created an album for himself as well as his fans. He had no boundaries. Nobody in his ear saying you should do this, you should do that. K.R.I.T was free to go back to what made his early mixtapes classics. The end result is a 2-disc album titled Forever is a Mighty Long Time. One that stands up to everything else in K.R.I.T's discography. Throughout this review, I want you to know that this album is nothing short of amazing. This album also feels like a love letter to Southern rap as K.R.I.T pays homage to UGK, Scarface, Juvenile, and so many others throughout this project. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say that, that is not meant to say that K.R.I.T is trying to emulate the past. No, he's bringing in some of these influences to blend in with his sound already. Now let me highlight my favorite songs, starting off with Stein. This is the 4th installment of Big K.R.I.T's My Sub series that he's been doing for many years now. The cool thing about this album is that K.R.I.T decided to work with other producers. He produced a lot on the album, but there's also some notable names, Organized Noise, Corey Mo, and of course the legendary Manny Fresh, who produced this record. Now, Stein is just crazy. Like, that first part really grabs you, jumps you in. That hook is so energetic. I really can't wait for K.R.I.T to go on tour because I will have to see this and see this song live in particular. Now, before the song even began, at the end of a record called Big Bank, which featured T.I., Manny Fresh pops up and does one of his classic style intros, and I really felt like that was special. Like, that really set the tone for this record. Now, this record is also divided up into 2 parts. The first part being the more energetic, and the second being, more mellow, more of a breakdown. It all fits into one song, but a part of me wanted to hear more of the first part. Like, I'm thinking, damn, he's only using 2 minutes of this when this could have been an entire 4-minute song. This really goes. It's really knocking. My other favorite song is called Drinking Sessions. It features Kenyon Harold. In a world where things don't always go as planned, Big K.R.I.T was just a victim of false promises, and he had to deal with that during his tenure at Def Jam. He was never fully appreciated, I feel. He is so talented, and I mean, this album is proof of that. Imagine what Def Jam would have said about this album if he played it to them in this state. Would they have said, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to tone it down? I don't know, but the good thing is we don't have to live in that reality. This record is very aggressive. K.R.I.T is just going off. He lets his feelings loose about signing to Def Jam and, dealing with all the stuff surrounding that, like, over the years. I mean, they told him, they said, he raps, I'd be the biggest star, they told me. And, we see how that came out. But once those days of Def Jam are long behind him, the songs tail end really takes a different focus. It goes from one fear to another, and that other fear being death. He talks openly about dealing with death and, his feelings towards it and, family and all of that, and it is really emotion heavy. It packs a punch. Now it's time for me to highlight 3 honorable mentions. Yes, 3. On a double disc album as good as Forever is a Mighty Long Time, I feel like I could have had even more than 3 honorable mentions. My first one is Ride With Me featuring UGK. This record, man, is special. I don't know where that Pimp C hook is from. Maybe it's a truly unreleased one. But regardless, it fits right into the song. Bun B and K.R.I.T sound great on the verses. It makes me sad almost that we can't have like Big K.R.I.T produce / A&R an entire album from UGK. I feel like that is something that could have been a reality at some point in another timeline. My other favorite, or my second favorite, is called Layup. With this song, I felt like it sounded like Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like the cadences of it all. And I really like that. It still sounds like Big K.R.I.T, but you can hear the Bone Thugs and Harmony influence on it. My last honorable mention is Miss Georgia Fornia featuring Joy. Now this record is beautiful. I'm talking so beautiful. Listening to Joy's heavenly voice is just amazing to me. I love this record a lot. It really feels like K.R.I.T understood what it meant to craft something very beautiful. And I said beautiful and amazing a lot, but this record is really up to par with everything else on the entire album. Normally I'd have some least favorite songs or a critical moment right here, but honestly, I didn't find anything bad with this album. There hasn't been a double disc that is better than Forever Is a Mighty Long Time in years. That's a testament to Big K.R.I.T having the chance to create without having to please anybody except himself. K.R.I.T had a lot of anticipation on his side following, his departure from Def Jam, and all of that worked in his favor. He didn't sit here and immediately start releasing a bunch of music after that. He did put out some music prior to the announcement, but after he announced it, he kind of went into hiding and really focused on creating an album. He built upon the brilliances of his early work as well as displaying growth, working with other producers, and ultimately he just created an album that will last longer than him being in the top 10 on iTunes and Billboard. This is an album that will be remembered for a long time. So those are my thoughts on Big K.R.I.T's Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. Let me know what you think about this album after you listen to it in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.